Hello Ritvik, are you from Nilgiri House? Hello Ritvik, can you speak please? Hello Ritvik, Rajesh,
Yeah, yes, bro.
are you from Nilgiri? I'm seeing you for the first time.
Yeah, I'm from Nilgiri.
Okay, you have joined recently.
Yeah.
No issues. So we are actually in the concluding leg of this endgame session. We have uploaded all the videos in YouTube. You can just watch from day one. See, I mean, in a serious, I mean, not in a serial wise manner. You can just watch it quite easily. And there are three live stream sessions and rest are recorded, so you can just watch it in the live as well as video section. Each day will be arranged one by one, and I think doing it chronologically will be beneficial for your game actually.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss rook rook endgames, and particularly in rook endgames, lucina position and philidor position. So let me just share the screen and let me know if it is coming or not. I hope it is coming now. Yeah. So rook endgame, Lucina, Philidor कितने लोगों ने खेला है Philidor position? I hope no one has played it. So oh fish. Huh. Okay. So is it visible, guys? This thing, endgame studies. Is it visible?
Yeah, bro. It's visible.
Thank you. Thank you for intimating me. So first position, today we are going to discuss two positions. One is Lucina and another is Philidor. Okay, these are just fancy names. Just look at the positions here, and you will be able to understand what I am going to do. In this position, if you see the endgame carefully, first of all, let me just tell you that Rook endgame is a vast territory. It is a sea. It is an ocean of knowledge, and generally over 1,000, 10,000 millions of iterations of Rook endgames played over Grandmasters games, amateur games, and every other games. It is generally regarded that Rook endgames are draw. All the Rook endgames are draw. Means it's just a conventional notion. I mean, all in the sense, those in general, we consider endgames only those positions which in which one side has an extra pawn or two pawns at max, which can be defended by accurate play using rooks by the opposition camp. Only those, I mean, we consider rook endgames only those positions which are defendable by one side and which can be won through a technique by other side. Okay. In this position, it's white to move. And if you notice, king is on g8 and this pawn is moving this forward. Okay. And new joinee is Ritvik today. Ritvik bro, do you know the promotion rule for pawns? First of all, because
Yeah, if
that's
it
a,
reaches the other end, it gets what?
sorry.
If it reaches the other end of the board, we can change it to any other coin.
Okay. You know this rule, right?
Yeah.
No issues. Then my task is made quite simpler. Point is, this white started on a2 and somehow over the course of the game it has reached on g7. Okay. Now in next move it has to promote it to itself to a queen. Okay. But the problem is this white king is on g8 and it's white to move. White has one rook. On the other hand, this black rook also blocks the king from going outwards. Okay. And what I'm saying is this black rook on h1 does not allow the king to come forward with h7, g6, etc. And this black king on e7 does not allow this king to escape through g8, f7, f6, etc. I hope you understand this much. You can just raise my, I mean, thumbs up kar sakte ho if you understand it. Okay. Now what we have to do in this position is we have to somehow launch this king forward. Can you think the first move which comes to your mind so as we could bring the king outside. First move. Any move, guys. You can just write in the chat box or unmute yourself. Just tell me the first move. Anybody has written anything? Rookie to check. Okay. Any move? अच्छा मैं आपको I will just let you narrow down some choices. Rook e2 check, rook b7 check, rook f2. There are three options for you. Which do you choose? Okay, let me just poll it once. And which option? Rook e2 check and rook b7 check, and add an option rook f2. Okay, so I have launched the poll. You can just vote it there. Okay. Any other answers? What is the move which white has to play here? Rook e2 or rook f2 or rook b7 check? Any answer can work. Rook, नहीं नहीं, work in the sense which is the answer you want to give the most. वो कह रहा था मैं. चलो. Okay. Let me proceed. तीनों रुक बता दे. रुक f7 भाई. कहाँ रुक f7 कहाँ पहुँच गया? What the hell are you telling? Okay. First option is rook b7. इसमें problem ये है. Black king can just go to e8 and there is no point of giving pointless checks here. ठीक है? So you have to ultimately come back and then try to give through verticals. So rook b7 is not bad. I mean not good. But इसको variation में डाल देते हैं. ठीक है? Next move. Rook f2. Rook f2 is kind of a move which prolongs your procedure. But again, if I go king e8, you are not achieving anything. You have to play rook f8, rook f7. This back and forth activity will be occurring, and the white king will never be able to come out. Okay, so this is also a variation kind of position. So the correct move is rook e2 check. Now I will show you this arrow. Okay, now can you tell me that what happens here actually, or let me just explain you. Rook e2 check is correct. Okay, and promoting this, and this reserves an exclamation mark, because what you are doing is you are forcing this black king off this critical e8 square. So he has to move to f6 or to d8 or to d6, any move which gives a breathing space for this king to enter. I mean, enter the game and allow promotion. Okay. Now comes the most important part. If king f6, I will force it in the variation. This is a wrong move, by the way, because you have king f8 in the shield, and black rook is not able to give check on h8 because there is a promotion. Okay, I hope you understand it. And if he comes here, then we have one check. Please be careful not to promote it to a queen. Can you spot? I mean, it is it possible? Okay, okay. Is it possible? Okay, okay. No issues. G8 queen is possible. I thought, but in certain situations when the rook is not here, it may lead to a checkmate as well. That's why I just told this. Rook a1 was coming. I mean, rook a8 was coming, but in this case, rook e8 is there. So yeah, this is fine. Just I'm just promoting it. So rook h8 is not possible. So I will just force it as a variation. And if you go rook a1, you are one move too slow. Either go rook f2 check and thereafter queen. Okay, promoting with tempo is always useful. Or you can just directly promote to a queen where rook a1 check is only met by rook e8, and after exchange it's a regular queen endgame where we have to maintain an L shape and we have to checkmate the black king. I hope by now, by this 16-17 days, you will be able to understand this. Okay. So rook e2 is a crucial move and king f6 is a blunder. Okay. So this is a blunder and we will force it to variation. Correct move for black is to play king d6 here. Okay. Why king d6? Because it aims to create maximum complications for white here. Now, now can you find the next move? This is the most crucial move which comes in this position. Probably the game deciding move. Okay. You have one option to go king f7. Another option is to move the rook. I will not say the rook move because you have to decide which move is the best here. Okay. So I will create a poll here or just ask which piece do you go? Which piece? King or rook? Poll, create a poll. Which piece? King, rook. Just vote it, guys. Please vote quickly. We will just move forward after that. Hello. Are you voting, guys? Which piece? King one vote, rook two move. Two votes. Okay. Those who have voted rook, can you tell me which square rook has to move here in the chat box? Quickly, please. Which square rook has to move in? You can just unmute yourself and say the coordinate. Quickly, guys. Actually, this position is also known as building the bridge. Rook e8. Okay, fine. This position is also known as building the bridge. If you don't remember Lucina, it's not a problem. It's also known as building the bridge, where the primary idea is to block the king. I mean, block the king with the rook. Okay, that's the primary idea. Think on this, and you will be, I think, able to get the answer. If not, I will just explain it in 30 seconds. Rook e8 by Balaji. Any other move, Balaji, or any other guys? Okay. So let me start with the move that does not work. And the move does not work is king f7. King f7 is a blunder or a mistake because it throws away the winning advantage. Black can just check endlessly here, here, and as you see now in this position, note the problem of white. He cannot go to g5 because he cannot here travel to f5. Note this thing very properly. What you have to note is white does not have the means to come forward with the king to block the checks. Okay? If rook g1 comes, you don't have the access to go to f5 or h5 or f4 or h4. Okay? Now this problem noting is very very important. Why I have showed you the wrong line is you should note the problem here. Problem for white king is he does not have a square to move forward. Why? Because if he moves forward on any of these squares, this black rook will swoop in to take this g7 pawn and the game is dead draw. Okay. Now I hope you understood the problem here and I recommend you to find the only move which fixes this problem. And now you know that it's not the king which is going to move. And by the way, rook e8 does not solve the problem, Balaji. I think you would have noted this. So find the only move with the rook which prevents this problem from happening over the board. Can you find it? Can anyone answer that? I've presented the problem to you. Okay. If you move the king, this is the problem. You will be not able to move the king forward. Okay. So let's say it was here, and if you move one rook g2, no, I think rook g2, just 1 second. Rook g2 does not work here because then I go king e7. Yeah, this does not work here. देखो यहाँ पे king is being cut off. That's why. फिर आपको check देना पड़ेगा. Then king goes back. You have to find a move where king is also cut off, and you have a mechanism to block the checks as well in the future. आपको यही आइडिया लाना है. This idea has to be implemented on the board, and you have to bring this king g5. But इस king g5 के बाद इस रुक को संभालने के लिए there has to be one move, right? Which is that move? मतलब I have given you maximum hint. इससे ऊपर तो I have to give the moves only. Anybody? I'll just give you 10 seconds to comment. Thereafter, I will explain the move. And Jayesh or anybody can answer it. Yeah, exactly. Correct. Shrujal, can you answer? Which move solves this problem? I have presented the problem to you. Now you have to solve this problem. How will we be able to solve this? Okay, so I have received one answer, which is rook e4. Okay, let's just move forward here. We were here in this position, right? King d6. Now, king d6 has to be promoted, and here king f7 is a mistake, so I will just force it. Now, here the most important move comes, which is rook e4. I will give you a brilliant move. Okay, I will promote this as well. Why rook e4? Can anybody answer? Why rook e4 works here and is very important? I have presented you the problem, and I have also presented you the solution. Now, can you link this problem to the solution? What problem does it solve? Can anybody unmute and tell me? Hello? Am I audible? King can't come closer. That's secondary objective. But I showed you the problem of bringing the white king above, right? To block checks. So we are addressing that problem. Chalo. Rook can interrupt the check. Exactly. That's what I was wanting. Okay. Now you can fearlessly play king f7, king g6, king f6, king g5, and when this rook g1 arrives, you have the mechanism to block this check through rook g4. And thereafter, rook does not have any mechanism to capture your pawn, and you will have a winning advantage. I mean, a winning position where rooks will be exchanged and your queen will be there on the board. It will be ready to checkmate your opponent. Let's see what he does. And let's say he plays king d5 first of all. Then you have this rook g4 ready, and if he moves king e6, then rook g6 check, king f5, and you have king f7 ready for the promotion. Okay, king f7 defends this rook and at the same time goes for a promotion. This is one variation. And if you go something like king to, I don't see any other move actually. If you go rook f1, you have king h7, rook h1, king g6, and it's blocked. Okay. So if after king d5, if instead of king d5, I just force it in the variation, you can see this. If let's say white he goes rook f1, or let's say here rook h3 even. Okay, rook h3, I will promote this. And after king f7, rook f3, king g6, rook g3, king f6, defending this g7 pawn, and rook f3. Now king g5, rook g3 is met by rook g4 on the timelines, and this is a winning position. Black cannot do anything because his king is too far away to stop this pawn. And once he trades here, if he goes king e7, you are ready to promote to a which piece, guys? Queen or rook? What do you prefer? Yes. Queen. Queen is preferred, but if you want to flex, you can just go to the rook as well. There is nothing to do. So queen, and I hope you know how to win this. We have discussed this countless times for now. Okay, and I hope you will be able to win this. This is known as Lucina position or building the bridge. I will just comment it out for you. Lucina or building the bridge. Building a bridge. Why building a bridge? Because if you see the construction, we allow this rook to come to e4, and then after when the king moves to f7 and so on, this is a kind of bridge strike constructions. This is a bridge like construction which comes with the king going upwards, and when the king is on g5, we have this timely intervention of the rook to block the check of black king. So we have created a bridge to block the checks which are created by the black king. So I hope you understood it. Any questions you can just ask. And remember that this was a starting position. Okay, this was a starting position. Only two moves are crucial. Only two, only two. Rook e2 check, first move. Deflecting this king offwards. And king d6 is the best move. And now you have this rook e4. If you know this idea, you will be able to win this rook endgame quite easily when your pawn reaches on g7. I'm not saying all rook endgames. Please don't come and argue with me in the future that you said that if I know this, I will know you can win all the endgames. That's not the case. Rook endgames are an ocean, and it takes years of mastery to win or draw the positions as required. Okay. So here is the thing. After rook h3, it's all just a technique, and rook g4 effectively ends the game here. So Lucina is done, and I will just mark it as plus minus here so that you would have an idea that white is clearly winning. Okay, this is plus minus, white is winning. And let's move on to the next position and the last position for today. What if black rook stays on g1? Just one sec. Where it is staying on g1, bro? Here you are saying if he comes to g1. Here, here if acha, here if it comes to g1, you have king f7, right? Then आपको check ही खेलना पड़ेगा. And after this check, I have shown the methodology. And once you go rook g1, rook g4 again comes in. ठीक है? This build structure and bridge structure actually helps. Any other line you want to ask before we move on to the next position? Fine. Fine, right? Please put a thumbs up if you are able to understand clearly. Any others? Akshat, any questions? Okay. No questions. So we are moving on to the Philidor now. Here, notice we have reversed the position. Now the positioning of black pawn is on c5, c4. Okay, and rook is on h2, king is on d4. Now how is this different from Lucina? In Lucina, the pawn was on 7th rank. Okay, here white is having the move, and the objective is not to win but to draw in this position first of all. So here the first move which wins for, which is very very straightforward for white. If you know this technique, it's easy to draw. What you have to do is you have to play rook g4. I think draw, because king c3, rook g3, and then king. It's a computerized draw. But what do I suggest here, and which is the heart of Philidor position is, let me off the engine once. You have to play something like rook d8 here, or even rook g4 is possible, but then you have to remember this king b1 line. So just play rook d8 check here. Okay, so here let's say any move comes like king to c3. Thereafter you have to play king d1 to prevent checkmate. And as soon as the king goes here, you have to check this king again. And he may go to a2, then check b2. You have to just basically give a lot of checks here. That's the only issue. And as soon as he goes, rook d8 is a blunder, sorry. So you can play like rook g8, and after rook d2 check, king c1, king d3 is a blunder because then rook d8 eats up the rook. And when he goes king c1, he may try to go rook h2 and try to checkmate you. So what you can do is rook g3, king to here, and king b1. And now the most important thing. Okay, let me just show you this line here. Let me delete all of the lines. Okay, on a fresh slate, you what you have to do is when you are down with a pawn, just give checks as much as possible. Here black may try to go king c3, going for a checkmate here. And after this, you go rook g3 check, and he may go king b4. Okay. Now the rook is optimally placed in this point. Okay. Either you can travel with the rook back to g8, or as computer is suggesting, you can play king b1 or even king d1 for that matter. All the moves are draw. Okay. Now king b1, suppose let's say if he goes. Now if he plays c3 by any chance, this is a draw because you have rook g4 here. And no, it's एक second, just 1 second. If c3, then I think this file system activation occurs. c2, king to c1, and here you don't have the Lucina or building the bridge technique because you lose the pawn. And if he comes to c3, then rook has to give the check from behind, rook d8 and rook e8, or you can just give endless checks here. If he goes, then capture this pawn. Let me show you this clearly again. Okay, from the starting, the aim is to give maximum amount of check as much as possible. King to c3, rook to g3, king to b4. Okay, so far so good. Now let's say white goes king b1 here. Okay, and black tries to promote, so he plays c3. This is the point where Philidor defense starts, or Philidor position of rook endgame starts. Philidor position says that if the white pawn reaches the 6th rank or the black pawn reaches the 3rd rank, you have to take the control of the rook through file system, and you have to endlessly give checks through files. Okay, so that the progress of the black king stalls down completely. And if by any chance white rook manages to lift lift itself and try a Lucina position, then you can just use your king to capture that pawn which has advanced far enough. Okay, let me show you all these wordings in a game. I mean, in this practical scenario, what you have to do is, as the c3 is being played here, what you have to do is, first rule, control the file system check. Okay, we will write this is the start of the Philidor position. Okay, step 1 is to control file file check through rook. Does anybody have any difficulty to understand? You can just let me know. Okay, what we have done is we have rook moved the rook very far away from the king, and it's important to move it as far as possible so that you would have adequate number of checks to cover the black king. Let's say he goes c2 check, Then you have king c1, not king a1 because it will lead to a checkmate. It's a disastrous game blundering blunder. Okay, so just go king c1, and if he by chance goes king c3, you just have to, sorry, rook d8, I'm mistaken, rook c8, king d3, rook d8, and this barrage of checks continue to flow in. And now rook c8 comes, king d3. As soon as this king tries to touch this pawn, you have to give check from the behind. And let's say he comes, attempts to come forward, and he cannot leave this pawn undefended as well. Okay, now let's consider another line here. He goes rook g1 check, rook h1 check, king c2, and let's say he goes rook h3 here. Okay, now we can go rook b8 and check, king d4, rook d8, king d5, rook, either this check or even rook to c8, attacking this pawn. And if it by chance goes anywhere, just try to give the checks from behind as much as possible. And this is a draw. And while you reach this position, try to offer the draw to your opponent. Him, if he accepts, then fine. If not, just try to give as many checks as possible from behind. Whenever the opportunity presents, try to attack the pawn as well. And whenever the king is far off, you feel like, then you can just move the rook to attack this pawn, and the position will be in objective draw. I hope you understood Philidor. It was easier to comprehend than Lucina, because what you had to do is you have to give a check and hope that black goes to the sixth rank. If not, you are in the game, you are in the business. Let's say he goes somewhere like king c5, you can just check it away again and again as much as possible. If he goes king d3, rook g3, and king e2, you can just play this, and it's again a draw. Okay, in this position it's a draw. He may try to complicate a lot of things, but don't worry, you are safely covered, and this position is indeed a draw. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand today's session. It were far simpler for today. Tomorrow we will have an advanced session on rook endgame where you will be given two extra pawns and you have to convert it into a win. And those who will not have two extra pawns, they have to draw the position. That's one thing. And second thing will be to present another form of rook endgame. So there will be two tournaments which will be happening tomorrow. Okay. And thereafter, today is 18th day, then 19th day will follow, and 20th day or the last day we will have queen endgames, and possibly only one tournament where I will give you queen plus two pawns versus queen, and 1 minute for each of you on the clock, along with 2 second increment, obviously. And thereafter, on Sunday, we will have the competition for CSL, and most importantly, the certificate, this thing as well. I mean, we have to give certificates also, right? So, we will conduct a test for all of you, any random position out of the 20-day session, and you have to pass that test to get the certificate of completion. So I hope you understood the technique, and thank you all for supporting me, and thank you for joining today. It has been a bit late because we are working for the CSL participants as well, and we are working on our improvement of our game. That's it. That's it. And we covered some openings today, and we will try to promote certain openings as well if you are interested once the term starts. And I hope you are able to gather the endgame concepts well, and please try to apply all of them in the games wherever you seem feasible, it seems feasible. And yeah, that's it for today. You can just leave, and thank you so much for joining. See you tomorrow for the next set of rook end games. Thereafter, we will go to queen end game and the last class. So, thank you for your support. We are very grateful that you are able to spend some time and join us. Thank you, and I hope you had some value addition in all these days of class. Okay, so good night. Thank you. You can leave now. Good night.